Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Miasin and welcome to my Darklord deck profile. So once again, friendly reminder to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. And yeah, now let's get into it. So as you can see, I'm playing 3 Darklord Eggshell with 3 Superbia and 3 Christia because this deck is especially a Christia turbo deck. I really want to be able to summon this like a solid 80% of the time, at least, at the very least, going first. And if I can't make Christia, well, it's not that bad because at least I can actually still make a couple more interruptions. I mean, it's really easy to get like these 2 cards, well, I mean at least one of these 2 cards in the grave for like a less expensive activation requirement, or else you can actually just keep one in the hand, then set it, and then use like the on-field effect, and then you can actually just use like the Darklord effect monster to like copy this. So pretty much 1 trap equals 2 interruptions when you have a monster on the field that can copy the effect. And then the 2 Nurgle. I actually used to play 3 because I actually thought that it wasn't too bad with trade-in, you know, like just play 3 of this and you're good. But it honestly bricked a lot, like a lot. Even Taskat Lepoka, which is like the Return of the Dragon Lords, it definitely did break, unfortunately, because I did actually playtest this deck much more than like any other deck like recently. And yeah, I could actually like see the flaws because, you know, like at the end of the day, this deck actually plays a lot of like really high level monsters. So, you know, and also a lot of like 3-ofs and cards that are once per turn, so like you're bound to eventually break. You can't really control that. So I'm not claiming that this deck is tier 1 or anything like that, but it is extremely respectable, like against like as an anti-meta option. So depending on like which environment you are in, for example, a locals, this deck would be like magnificent if you actually deck build it to beat your locals, or even in a regionals, because at the end of the day, sometimes depending on where you live, a regionals is just like a glorified local, so it's kind of like not too bad. And just to give you like an example, like I'm in Montreal and my regionals are never like above like 160 players. Like literally the average is like 120, 130. But yeah, it's basically like some people actually have 90-man locals, which is like ridiculous. But yeah, we don't have that. So if you can actually just deck build something either for fun or just to counter the meta, it's good. And also, even like in a YCS, this deck could maybe see play, but only depending on the ban list, because a lot of people right now, they're just spending way too much time like trying to build the meta right now. But it's so dumb because you already know that a ban list will drop. And also, what are you preparing for? Like an online YCS? And yeah, keep dreaming. But yeah, anyways, so 2 Nurgle was definitely fine for me. And then 1 Nastin. I mean, this card is by far the most expensive Darklord to use because you actually have to discard 2 other Darklord cards to use the effect. So it's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of Darklord money, but it's the one Darklord that when you search it with Condemned Darklord, sorry, I was gonna say Condemned Witch, it is the one monster that single-handedly special summons itself. Otherwise, you could actually go like Amdusk, discard something. Actually, also cut Amdusk, by the way. I cut a lot of monsters. I was breaking too much. But yeah, Darklord Nastin is just that unique one that kind of allows you to play out of nowhere sometimes, so yeah. And then 3 Darklord of Pleasure. This is the amazing card. I don't know why they gave it the weird give a monster to your opponents. I mean, I don't know. I guess they kind of had to balance it in a way because unfortunately it looks like it's easily abusable, but it locks you on fairy only, so you can't really splash this into anything. And also, at first, when this card was announced on YGL.org, it actually did not mention the 2 monsters with different levels except Darklord Pleasure. So, like, according to the text that I actually read, you could actually give a Darklord Pleasure to your opponent. And, you know, a 0 defense monster that you're giving to your opponent is kind of sick because then you just go Advanced Ritual Art, Chaos Max game. Happy Land City. So I was just playing like a Darklord engine in Chaos Max, and then they quickly changed the text, so unfortunately. But yeah, but Darklord Pleasure, actually fantastic card. The effect is actually on normal or special summon, so it is that one monster that also gets an effect every time you actually revive it with contact. And you can actually revive your monsters like during either player's turn, you know, because your Darklord monster effects are quick effects. So yeah, Ukubak, because I know technically you should never play more than 3 normal summons, especially in a deck that draws a lot. However, I don't really see them clash because when you have like duplicates, you just pitch them with Excel and stuff, right? So it's not too bad. And if anything, Nastin maybe. But you know, it was definitely working fine for me. I mean, I'd rather have like Ukobak with, you know, other cards than like big monsters with other big cards, because then I know for a fact I cannot play. But sometimes your play is like Ukobak, send Superbia, and then you go like trade in, pitch Christia, and then Contact, revive back Superbia, revive back Christia, or sometimes you just have a bunch of Darklord monsters but with no like actual spells. So what you do is you go Ukobak, send Banishment, and then you go, you know, like you find a way to like summon a monster, maybe Nastin, you know, just pitch your monsters because you already, like you drew a hand of 5 monsters and that doesn't really, that doesn't grind for too much. So you just try to send like your spells every single turn, your banishments. Like this card, you abuse it like there is no tomorrow. It's crazy how, I swear to God, there's been turns where I was using the effect of this card like 3-4 times. It's actually ridiculous, I swear. Like, you use the on-field effect, obviously, as a spell, and then it goes to the grave, you copy it once, and then you go like Nastin, pitch, like, you know, 1 or 2 copies, and then you keep copying every single time you just summon more Darklord monsters. It's always copy, 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 copy. So it's just crazy how a card that is once per turn can be used multiple times per turn in this deck. It's cute, man. The deck that like inherently cheats the system. Very, very unique, you know, concept right there. Ukobak definitely does make sense to play at 3, I want to say. So, and also it's also like Darklord Pleasure, so when it is normal or special summon. So once again, if you revive this off of Contact or Superbia, well, you're always going to get the effect, so you don't have to worry too much about that. For their hand trap lineup, I'm playing 3 Ash and 3 Infinite just so people don't complain too much that this deck is unplayable going second. I still want to, you know, blind first, and going second, it's actually so shocking to see how ridiculously good Christia is, because people don't really like expect it, right? Sometimes you have like 4 fairies in the grave, but nobody thinks or knows that you have like hard draw Christia. So you just go, oh yeah, inherent summon Christia, and then they're like, well shit, I really wasn't expecting that, and it actually just foiled my plans, because they would actually like summon a bunch of like negates, but not anything deals with the Christia. I don't know if this is like clear or not, but it's just some, like, it's that kind of card that wins going first, obviously like for natural reasons, but going second because the game doesn't necessarily is decided on turn 1. So very, very fantastic cards, and the draw power cards in this deck are just ridiculous. I mean, you have like 3 Desires, 3 Trade-in, 3 Banishment with 3 Eggshell, you know, Upstart Monster Reborn. It's ridiculous how you're playing your spell cards. I swear, this is basically Blue Eyes 2.0. No, I swear, it's literally like another Blue Eyes. It's the modern age Blue Eyes, but it like the dark version of Blue Eyes. But yeah, it's just a lot of similarities, right? The draw power cards, the Monster Reborn cards, very powerful and high-level monsters. Yeah, it's a very similar playstyle. And by the way, Blue Eyes deck profile coming soon. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, anyways, I'll keep going. So everything here has been very well explained. You know, once again, I have to remind you guys that Banishment doesn't search just a Darklord monster, but a Darklord card, obviously except itself, otherwise it would be, I mean, a little redundant and stupid, but in a way it could be good because then you just get like more Banishments in the grave and you just keep copying like even more. And you know, like, by the way, another thing, a lot of people might think, oh, you know, you pay 1,000 every time you use the effect, of like a copy, it must be like garbage in time. This deck is like tier 0 in time. I literally promise you. You just go summon like 2 monsters, then go like, you know, condemn the Darklord, pass, and phase gain 15 handshake. Yeah, it's very stupid. You don't even need the you know, the Lucifer package that I cut, by the way. I cut the Morningstar with the, you know, the fusion trap. Yeah, there the Defined Darklord with the Lucifer fusion. It was so win-more-y. I mean, you can side it. I think siding it makes sense because if you're going first against a trap deck, then you just set this up. They can't really play the game too much because then on their end phase they have 5 back row and you go, oh yeah, summon Lucifer, pop 5, and then it's Happy Land. Obviously, you just go revive back. You can revive back Christia with Lucifer as a second effect, by the way. It's so shocking because there was a replay. You're going to see this in my test hand video tomorrow, I think, but there was a replay where I had like Christia set up with like the trap just in case, and like if I get Lightning Stormed for Christia, which I mean obviously at this point maybe Christia should be in defense, 23 defense, yeah, but yeah, even if I like it somehow gets destroyed, well, I can just go like, you know, the trap, summon Lucifer, now use the effect, and then revive back, you know, Christia, or revive back Superbia, and then revive back Christia. So very, very sick plays that this card, I mean, not Morningstar, I mean, even Morningstar has sick plays, but I mean, the Lucifer fusion has like, you know, that you can actually do with. But 3 Dark Fairy monsters way too much, and like using like the card like the Defined Darklord as like a trap on the field, like, yeah, sure, you gain 10,000 life points, but like, come on, man, it's life points are irrelevant, especially when you have like to send a card from, you know, your hand or field to the grave like a Darklord. Oh my god, like, this deck doesn't have, like, too much recursion. It has a lot of, like, card advantage generation from your deck to your hand, for sure. But, like consistent, easy ways to recycle back cards from your graveyard to your hand, not really. I mean, Dusk is, like, super expensive. It's a neg 1, so that doesn't really count. But yeah, this deck needs a Sunlight Wolf. Yeah. No. I mean, I think not a single deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Deserves Sunlight Wolf. If anything, Sunlight Wolf should die. But yeah, anyways, so keep going. 3 infinite, of course. I mean, I already explained why, you know, I was playing like 6 hand traps, so yeah. And then the 1 Rebellion and 1 Enchantment. You can play multiple enchantments if you really want to, because it combos well with Pleasure. If you haven't seen my combo video, go check it out right now. It's really, really interesting. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the main deck. Now let's jump into the extra deck real quick. So, 1 Zombiestein, because it's obvious to see why you would play Zombiestein. I mean, 2 level 8 Dark Monsters. I wonder, Superbia, Revive back, you know, Nargal, interesting. But yeah, it's Omni Negate, so, I mean, once again, you have to send a card from your hand to the grave, so it's not free. And also, it goes into defense, so your opponent can just go normal summon Vorse Raider after obviously using Regeki against you. And, oh no, sorry, Silver Fang. Yeah, that's the legendary 2-card combo. If you, like, you know this if you're a goat. I mean, you're a goat if you know this. Yeah. Regeki, Silver Fang, literally the best 2-card combo in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! But yeah, anyways, so moving on, Draglubion with Harbinger, and yeah, Numeron Dragon. Galaxy Ice Photon Lord is what I actually wanted to explain, because this card can actually be summoned as your 5th summon using Superbia and Nurgle, and then, you know, you pretty much negate Nibiru. So yeah, no depth to it, and also it's a monster negation that doesn't destroy unless you have Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon underneath. But do you see any Galaxy Ice Photon Dragon? Well, maybe if you're high, maybe, but yeah, no. Anyways, the rest of the extra deck is just a bunch of cute cards. Borrowed Sword, I mean, you can kill without Borrowed Sword. I mean, they have gigantic stats, literally. You can go put everything in attack, boom, 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 game. But yeah, access code, whatever, it's just, you know, it's the trend. Appaloosa, this card is a fairy. So even if you're locked under, like, the fairy restriction only of Pleasure, Appaloosa can still negate, which is adorable. Yeah, and then, you know, a Unicorn with Thingy, because I'm playing Masquerena for some weird reason. But yeah, Phoenix, blah blah blah, Condemned Darklord. Masquerena, I guess, can be sick, because you don't need to use its effect during your own turn. I mean, you can't, obviously. So, you know, once again, unaffected by Pleasure. And you can also do some cool plays with Enchantment, where you can actually just steal your opponent's monster and then link it off, you know, so you don't actually have to give back anything to your opponent. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 cute free bonus, but I mean, kind of whatever. The 2 Condemned Darklords, I mean, you can play a 3rd one if you want to, but this deck, I mean, you're not playing Extravagance, right? So you know that they're always staying there, so it's not too bad. Herald of Mirage Lights, so only the first effect, like, matters, but it's only good when you have, like, combination of this with Harbinger, so if they try to jump over it, well, you say no. But it's a link too that actually negates spells and traps, so if you're scared of, like, Evenly or stuff like that, well, it's pretty good. So, and then finally, Link Cross, because sometimes you have exactly 3 fairies in your grave with a Christian hand, and you have Condemned Darklord, and you don't want to link off, like, Condemned Darklord and another fairy, because that would make 5 fairies in the grave, so you only turn Condemned Darklord into Link Cross. Obviously, you can't use the effect because you're probably under Pleasure at this point. You're having a lot of pleasure also at this point, eh? Yeah. But yeah, you're linking up the Condemned Darklord for Link Cross, and then you have exactly 4 fairies, and then you go summon Christia, Merry Christmas, you know, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Yo, I really can't wait until 2021, by the way. It's just, I really hope, I'm honestly, oh my god. I literally can't wait until someone tells me, like, Happy New Year, unironically. Holy shit, I just want to get this over with. Anyways, idea section real quick. By the way, this is an idea section. I have some comments sometimes, like, asking me, why don't you side, blah, blah, blah. Bro, it's not a side deck. Like, if I was really siding this in a YCS, I deserve every single hate comment or an insult, like, in history. Like, I'm doing everything wrong, like, oh yeah, let's definitely side, you know, one light stage with 1 Candina, 1 Korobane makes a lot of sense. Oh, and random 1 Bigfoot, right? Definitely makes sense in the side deck. But yeah, anyways, I already explained Morningstar, Tezcatlipoca, Bigfoot. I mean, it's good against Dragoon, so if you have to go second against that, well, it's pretty sick. Because yeah, you can actually easily go second in Dark Lords. I mean, in game 1, if you build to go first, then it's a bit harder. But still, you don't have to worry too much about that. Obviously, if the format is like tier 0 or tier 0.5, you know, fuck that shit, man. Just just wait until it becomes healthier, because right now, yo, don't expect to beat like Adamantia with like Eldritch and stuff like that. You're definitely playing from behind, like, by far. But yeah, anyways, Nergal, Dusk, you know, Carobane Light Stage and Carobane Candina in Light Stage. That's cool because it's like a 1-card Condemned Darklord, which gets you to like Eggshell, so you can keep playing, but you already have Pleasure as your normal summon now, so, you know, why bother? I mean, if anything, you can play like Light Stage and Carobane, because your normal summon is already on Ukubak or Pleasure, but I don't really think that Candina makes too much sense anymore. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You can also play Terraforming as well, and then I have Chaos Space. The reason why I played that, I don't know. No, I know. I used to play Chaos Valkyria, but I mean, I used to contemplate playing Chaos Valkyria. And now it makes a little more sense. But the thing is, if you could actually, you know, banish a Chaos Valkyria, then you can actually send a Christia from your deck to the grave, and that could actually be nice because, you know, easier Christia, why not? And I don't know if this deck actually has access to Curious. You know, Fairy, 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 and Fairy. What does Curious need again? 3 monsters with different types. Yeah, you can't really make Curious with 3 fairies, huh? So yeah, no. Yeah, Chaos Valkyria is a no-no, and Curious is also a no-no. So pretty much, if you want to have access to Christia, there is no like cheat way to do it. It's just like draw, 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 draw. Ah, Christia, good, summon, game. But yeah, it's literally that simple. So yeah, anyways, pretty much everything else is like super self-explanatory. I mean, you can always see their gigantic stats. Big booty, you know, thick, you know, and, you know, also really high attack. So pretty much every single one of the big Dark Lords is, you know, like a target for every single big game-ending virus. So if you're going first, Eradicator is game. Deck Devastation is insane against Salamangreat, and then Full Force is good against pretty much almost everything. Yeah, it's insane against so many decks, honestly. Yeah, it's just insane. And also, like, there's no Dark Ruler or anything that really annoys you. Yeah, like, the virus cards are just like the simple. I mean, you can also play Trap Trick, and I was gonna say something, man. Oh my god, Denko Sekka. You can side Denko Sekka as well. I know that people used to do that back in the day, so you just like remove, like, you just swap like Yuko back and Pleasure and stuff like that. But anyways, that is pretty much all I had to say for the deck profile. If you have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. Once again, test hand video coming tomorrow. It's gonna be a pretty good one. I mean, I haven't played against meta decks, but, you know, I don't care because it takes 10 billion years. And once again, it's not that it gets on my nerves, because I know that not everyone can know this, but I try to say it as often as I can, but I'm not going to play on DB anytime soon because it just tilts me a lot. Like, it takes literally 30 minutes for like one game, and I need to find games in bulk. And I don't want to spend my entire life making YouTube like videos on like something that doesn't necessarily... Because, like, think about it. I'm not making a living off of this. So I'm trying to have fun, and while I'm having fun, you know, I'm trying to grow as well. So if obviously I get to a point where I am growing a lot and people are really, really interested, then I might start, you know, like spending 10 hours for like one video on DB and stuff like that. But right now, I don't really think that is it makes any sense. But yeah, anyways, that is pretty much all I had to say. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.